Good morning, students. Now we have come to the last part of this chapter, and the subheading is astrobiology. It is also called exobiology. So, what is the meaning of this astrobiology or exobiology? The definition we have to study is the science that looks the presence of extraterrestrial life in the universe. In addition to the surface of Earth, which is our planet, in other planets, whether life is present or not. That is the main idea of this biology, which is called astrobiology. Whether it is present or not in other planets, that is the main aim of this branch of biology, which is called astrobiology. Astrobiology deals with the origin, evolution, and distribution of life in the universe, and to investigate the possibility of life in other world. Just like our star, so many stars are there in the galaxy, and their planets are also there. And astrobiology is the field of biology which deals with the origin, evolution, and distribution of life in the universe. The major concept in astrobiology is the habitable zone. What do you mean by habitable zone? Habitable zone is the zone where the organisms can survive successfully. That is called the habitable zone. The theory explains that any planets can support the existence of life if it fulfills the two important criteria. What are the two important criteria? The first one, it must have a right mass to retain an atmosphere. It should have the atmosphere. Then only life can survive there. Number two, it must have an orbit at just the right distance from its star. That's why in our universe there are 9 planets are there, and all the planets are not having the life. Only on Earth life is existing, and another planet that is called the Mars, which is having the more or less same distance like the Earth. So possibility of life may be there on Mars also. That is under investigation. That is also a concept of this astrobiology. It must have some number 2 point. It must have an orbit at just the right distance from its star, that it allows liquid water to exist. Water should be there, air should be there. These two main criteria are the physical factors are needed for surviving of life. Thus, the distance need to be neither too hot or not too cold, and is often referred as Goldilocks zone for life. Now next, in our solar system, Earth is the only planet in the Goldilocks zone. Since why it is called so? Earth is considered the Goldilocks zone because this zone varies at times as the star evolves. We know that Mars have also been habitable. The life on Mars are likely to be the creatures we find in extreme environment on Earth. Life on our Mars is also present, but these life are suitable in extreme climatic conditions, extreme environments on Earth. Whatever life we see on Mars and on our Earth, we can see those organisms in extreme environments. The organisms which live in extreme environmental conditions, they are called extremophiles. So what do you mean by extremophiles? Extreme climatic condition, whatever organisms are there, those organisms are called the extremophiles. The high temperature, low temperature, these are considered as the extremophilous condition. Thus, within our own solar system, there may be many areas that are different from the Earth where it is probable to find the presence of life similar to extremophile bacteria. The bacteria are the only organisms who can survive in this extreme climatic conditions. So this is the end of this topic. Now children, we are going to move to the evaluation part. First one mark question. Choose the correct answer. First answer, the biogenetic law states that. Already we have discussed. The ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. Number 2, the use and disuse theory was proposed by Jean-Baptiste Lamarck. Number 3, paleontologist deals with fossil evidences. The best way of direct dating fossils of recent origin is by radiocarbon method. Next one. The term ethnobotany was coined by J.W. Hershberger. H-A-R-S-H, not B-double-B. First one which come H. Hershberger. Fill in the blanks. The characters developed by the animals during their lifetime in response to the environmental changes are called acquired characters. I have written the answers also. Number 2. The degenerated and non-functional organs found in an organism are called vestigial organs. Vestigial organs. The forelimbs of bat and human being are the examples of homologous organs. The theory of natural selection for evolution was proposed by Charles Darwin. Now state true or false. The use and disuse theory of organs was postulated by Charles Darwin. It is written, it is false. The correct answer, instead of Charles Darwin, we have to write Jean-Baptiste Lamarck. Now number 2, that is also false. The homologous organs, it is to be analogous organs, look similar and perform similar functions, but they have different origin and developmental pattern. Next one, birds have evolved from reptiles. That is true. Now match the following. Already I have marked also, nothing to discuss. Next one, answer in one word or sentence. In a human hand, a front leg of a cat and front flipper of a whale and a bat's wings looks dissimilar and adapted for different functions. What is the name given to these organs? These organs are called the homologous organs. I have written the answer, full sentence answer you have to practice. These organs are called the homologous organs. Number 2, second question, which organism is considered to be the fossil bird? Archaeopteryx. Archaeopteryx is considered to be the fossil bird. The next one, what is the study of fossils called? The study of fossils called paleontology. Paleontology. The next one, short answer questions. The degenerated wing of a kiwi is an acquired character. Why it is an acquired character? According to Lamarck's use and disuse theory, if an organ is used constantly, the organ develops well and gets strengthened. When an organ is not used for a long time, it gradually degenerates. In kiwi, the wings had not been used for a long time for flying, so it acquired as a degenerated wing and it is considered as an acquired character. Now next question. Why is Archaeopteryx considered to be the connecting link? Archaeopteryx is considered to be the connecting link of two classes such as reptiles and the apes, birds, because it shows few characters like birds. What are the few characters? No, they have the wings with feathers, and few characters like the reptiles such as long tail, that is the reptile character, clawed digits, that means in the fingers they are having the nail, sharp nail, that is called clawed, and conical teeth. These are the reptile character. The next question, what is define ethnobotany and write its importance. Come to the page number 281. Ethnobotany, the definition you have to write, that is ethnobotany is the study of a region's plants and their practical uses through the traditional knowledge of the local culture of people. Till here. After that, its importance, 4 points are there. It provides traditional uses of plant. It gives information about certain unknown and known useful plants. The ethnomedicinal data also serve as a useful source of information for the chemists, pharmacologists, and practitioners of herbal medicine. Same fourth one is tribal communities utilize ethnomedicinal plant parts, bark, stem, root, leaves, flowers, bud, flowers, fruit, seeds, oil, resins, all these things for the treatment of different diseases like diarrhea, fever, headache, diabetes, jaundice, snake bites, and leprosy. Till here, okay. Thank you, children.